Good morning, everybody. This is Real Estate Matters. For over 11 years, the voice of real estate in Flagler County and Palm Coast, Florida. Welcome to what I love to say, the quiet side of Florida. I'm Toby Tobin. I'm the publisher of GoToby.com. I'm a Florida licensed realtor with Grand Living Realty. Anna Maria Long is in the studio with me today from the Home Builders Association. She's my other end of the age spectrum co-host.
I'm down here at the other end of the studio in the age spectrum. Good morning.
So good morning. You just came back from Orlando?
Yes, I've traversed the state this month and I'm so tired. But yes, I was in Orlando for the International Builders Show. It was in Orlando for the last time because it has officially outgrown the Orange County Convention Center.
Really?
70,000 attendees.
From all over the country?
All over beyond,
world?
actually.
Oh, mm-hmm.
Yeah. We had 36 countries represented there in as vendors as well.
Well, Anna Maria is the executive
Officer.
I keep wanting to say
Yeah,
executive
we're working
director.
that out.
Executive officer of the local Home Builders Association. And one of our sponsors, along with our lead sponsor, Veranda Bay. It's a beautiful private developing community along the Intercoastal Waterway with a Flagler Beach address. The builders in there are all top drawer builders. Olson Homes, AR Homes by Arthur Rettenberg, ICI Homes, Holbert Homes, Toll Brothers, and Dream Finders. That's a bunch of really quality builders.
Yeah, they are. And Holbert Homes has their showcase home for the Parade of Homes inside of Veranda Bay for this year. So to go check that out. Check it out now, or you can check it out during the Parade of Homes from April 11th through 19th. Get more information at flaglerparadeofhomes.com.
And we're also sponsored by the Hammock Community Church. There's a little church in the woods along A1A, a mile and a half north of the toll bridge. That's where I go every Sunday morning. If you want to catch me, you can go to the 11 o'clock service. If you like to get up earlier than I do, they have a 9 o'clock. It's the early bird special.
And you can go to Roadie's for breakfast, huh?
Yeah.
It's a good spot.
And they get almost as many cars as we do. So we're past mid-month now. We can't really forecast what the end of the month's going to look like because the end of the month usually is the last week is typically strong. But as of today, we're recording this, by the way, on Friday the 20th. You'll hear it on the 21st. 122 single-family homes have been reported sold through the local MLS system. The median price is, well, let's just say 360,000. It's actually 359,945. 70 days on market is the median. Last February, there were a total of 186 homes sold with a median price of 364,990. So we're probably on track to be pretty close on the home number as well as the median price. 12 homes so far have sold for $250,000 or less. Only 5 of them for cash, which is unusual.
Yes.
Normally at that end of the market, we've been averaging 90% cash.
Yeah. That means that, or could potentially mean that some of those homes are actually going for first-time home buyers rather than investors that are going to flip them, which is a great thing for housing affordability.
Yes, it is. And the other end of the days on market, 29 for the low end of the market.
Yeah, you got to move fast if you're on that end of the market.
And you got to move pretty fast at the high end of the market, too.
Yep.
But only 3 homes have been reported sold for $1 million or more. But days on market is 24. And only one of those 3 was a cash sale. So that's cash sales seem to be off this month. And
So far.
so far. And I can't guess why. Or if I said something, it would be a guess.
Yes.
1,224 homes are listed through MLS. There were 1,292 a year ago, so we're down a little bit. Even though everybody keeps saying we're flooded with
Yeah, we
inventory.
have so many more. They're everywhere.
Days on market, 77, which is it was in the 80s a couple of months ago. 357 homes are in the pending category compared to 273 last year. So
That's significant.
that's a significant change from a year ago. 57 days on market. So if you look at days on market, 57 for pending versus 70 for this month.
So I'm not a
sales.
realtor. So but for the rest of us, pending days on market, is that from the time that they are under contract to the time that they close?
No, that's from when it's listed to when it goes under contract.
So how do the days on market differentiate from the listing to the pending? Or is it just the differentiation in the homes that are sold versus not sold?
Yes.
Okay. Homes versus not sold.
Yeah, it's a different list of homes.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. We're going to talk today, as I promised last week, we're going to continue talking about density. That was a topic we just...
Can't stop talking about it.
Well, it gets me riled up.
And then there was some new actual density increase in Palm Coast this week.
Go ahead.
In East Hampton, the ICI community in East Hampton that was approved.
They added a few more homes
with some, and I was gone, so it was. I know there's some affordable housing mixed in, so I'm not really super up on it. I'll admit, since I wasn't here.
Yeah, well, it was originally, I think, 51 homes.
Yeah, but I understand.
Then it went up to 70.
From what I do know about it, and if I apologize if I am incorrect, and someone can correct us in the comments, as I'm certain they will. But I believe that the per acres was still within the comp plan for Palm Coast. Like, it still fits the parameters.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's not what was previously approved.
Right.
And then
right.
I understand there's also some citizen pushback because there had been the change of the affordable housing between Reeds 1 and 2.
Right.
Which I get that on the transparency side. You know, I'm all for government transparency.
Mm-hmm.
But I am not for the NIMBYism that came with, yeah, we love affordable housing for the teachers and the firefighters, but can it go over there? No, it cannot.
Mm-hmm. Well,
it's going where it's going, and you're going to
it's interesting.
Please stop.
It's interesting that people who've reached a point in their lives where they've accumulated enough wealth to have the American dream
don't want anybody else to have it
on a quarter-acre lot. Don't want to live. They don't want to live next door to someone who reminds them of their 25-year-old self.
Yeah, like they basically wouldn't want their own kid to be there because their own child could theoretically be in that same position.
Mm-hmm.
Their own child, at whatever age they've reached this American dream on their quarter-acre lot, should then theoretically be leaving college or entering the workforce, or maybe being a firefighter, police officer. They could be in that same position. Well, and they're essentially saying, my own child does not deserve
if you own a home, at least once, you were a first-time home buyer.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you started.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you get to be a first-time home buyer? You probably rented someplace.
Yeah.
But yet, as I've said before, we want our pizza delivered on time, but we want our pizza delivery person to live in Putnam or Volusia County.
Anywhere else.
Mm-hmm. Anywhere.
How quickly we forget where we came from.
But let's go back to East Hampton. They're adding density to a previously approved project.
Mm-hmm.
What density does is this is where we kind of left off last week. Density is good. It's not bad. And
even the 1,000 Friends of Florida say so.
Right,
which
exactly.
If we're agreeing with them, I think this is a monumental moment.
These are conservationists.
Yes. And typically anti-growth.
Mm-hmm.
And they are the people who wrote this study that we're referencing here. It's Florida 2070, Water 2070. What is your vision for Florida's future? And they talk about conserving land, protecting our water, building better communities, supporting resilience, promoting better transportation, managing growth.
Mm-hmm. But the irony to me is that the people that are against density are for conservation, preservation, and
Hmm.
they say, well, we're cutting down all the trees. Well, when you dense, let's talk about what your concept of density
Hmm.
is. Density does not mean that all of the trees on all of the land of the project are cut down and you put 3, 4, 5 homes per acre over the entire
Right.
land mass that was purchased by
To
the
the
developer.
contrary.
You end up building in clusters, of course, on the upland. So
Yeah.
you're
Wherever the land dictates, you're able to.
it'll tell you you don't want to interfere with wetlands. So density, it's not how dense you make it, it's how you make it dense. Somebody
Right.
told me that
And
several years
yeah. And
ago.
then that will inherently preserve the green space and without without the developer ever having to touch the natural greenscape.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not at all special to us. I met with executive officers from across the nation this past week, and we had this exact conversation. I even referenced this Thousand Friends of Florida study so they could look it up themselves and see if they had similar conservation groups in their states, because we talked about how density essentially prevents urban sprawl.
It does.
And Palm
Mm-hmm.
Coast was designed, kind of unfortunately designed in a way that it's the definition of urban sprawl, right? You have
Well,
to drive places.
the partnership of the developer wasn't just everybody always talks about IT&T,
Mm-hmm.
but it was IT&T and Levitt.
Yes.
And Levitt is the Levittown Levitt. It's
Mm-hmm.
Long Island. And if you look at, I actually wrote an article several years ago where I showed Google Earth views of Palm Coast and Levittown, and they look very, very similar,
Oh.
scary similar. But Levittown has been known to be the really defining suburban sprawl.
Well, there's a time that they wanted us to drive. They wanted cars. That's how Michelin star restaurants came about with the tires.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the history?
No,
Oh,
we got to
let's go take a break and I'll give you the
okay.
Michelin star.
Okay, good. Well, welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. This is the second half of Real Estate Matters. We're talking about density. Again, one of these really exciting topics, but it is important because it's one of the most misunderstood concepts on
Mm-hmm.
social media right now.
Yeah.
We have people that are anti-growth and anti-density at the same time, and it's
And they don't
like,
really know why either.
no, they don't understand.
And
They don't
so we were just
understand.
talking about how Palm Coast is when it was designed in Levittown, New York, how similar they are, and how you really have to have a car or means of
And
transportation.
yeah, the walkability score for Palm
If there was
Coast
a negative,
is as close to zero as you can
right?
get. Mhm.
So there was a time, and I wish I could tell you off the top of my head. I mean, certainly in the 80s, very likely before that, where driving and sorry, I'm gonna go before that. I'm gonna go with the 70s and maybe the 60s because we know Palm Coast was developed in the 70s.
Mhm.
And I actually looked this up because of the show The Bear, because I wanted to know about the Michelin star restaurants and the Michelin star rating. The Michelin star restaurants they give you, however many stars for the
Mhm.
rating.
Mhm.
That was based on if you should drive to get to the restaurant. And if you had to drive to get to the restaurant, and you were doing that repetitively, you would need new tires and you would get Michelin tires. Yeah, I was blown away by this. And it's just like those things that I'm silly and I have to look up to get to the bottom of. But it kind of speaks to how ingrained these things are into our society.
Mhm.
They're ingrained into the way the way Palm Coast was developed.
When you read the word density, most people go to that a house on every square foot of the
Yeah,
property, and
yeah.
it's just like when you when you mention affordable housing, everybody's mind goes to Section 8.
Right, but that's not what it means at all.
No.
No, Section 8's like the very small minority of affordable housing. Affordable housing, by definition, is 30% or less of your income spent on housing.
Right. Well, this morning I happened to be interested enough to. I actually found this information on my new map.
Oh,
But I confirmed it because that map is there for me to find information that I can't just pull out of my brain anymore. But when I made the comment about density, there are two big major developments that were planned and approved in, I think, about 2010 over in the west side of the county. And the city approved them and then annexed the property into the city. And these two properties, one is called Neoga Lakes.
Yep.
The other one is Old Brick Township. And each of those these are master plan communities, very typical, like town centers, a master planned community. But I looked at the acreage of these two projects, and I looked at the number of residential units approved for these two projects, and they average out about 1 unit per acre.
wow.
That's not very dense, is it?
Well, no.
But now, obviously, there will be density pockets within that
Yes,
development.
because
but there's going to be
not every acre is buildable.
There's going to be a lot of place for feral hogs and Florida panthers. The kind of things that you really like in your backyard.
No, I do enjoy getting ring notifications when one runs through a neighbor's backyard. They do live here, the Florida Panthers. They got here first. Just don't touch them. Don't go outside. If they're running through your backyard at the same time, just let it be.
What did you learn in Orlando this week?
Oh, well, I learned that I need better walking shoes for one to be able to, and that my watch thinks it got stolen, my Apple Watch. I learned that
Don't you have a Find My Watch app so you can?
I do. It thinks it got got stolen because it saw me walking so much, and it was shocked, I think, by how many steps I took. So I did take some videos, but obviously can't show them here. There's some really incredible products out there. There's a ton of new product displays. I was most interested in because I think I'm just easily amused by some of the water displays, and for the bathrooms they had, really high tech shower technology where you could digitally do the temperature. And as a person who likes scalding hot showers, that spoke to my soul. Same thing with like lighting and countertops. I saw really interesting things in that world. Also outside of the convention center, they had some tiny homes set up on site, as well as a modular home that was 3-bedroom, 1 bath. I think it was around 1,600 square feet, 1,500 square feet. It would have been perfect for Palm Coast, except for it didn't have the right roof pitch or a garage.
Or a front porch.
It actually did have a little bit of a front porch.
No, but in Palm Coast, that's why we don't have any modular homes in Palm Coast.
Yes.
They're legal. They're
right,
but
the code essentially prevents it from happening.
Architectural
code, yeah. There was a robot building. I'm not sure what it was doing. I think it was doing some concrete, just moving around doing that. So there's a lot I did not get to on the show floor because I was in meetings with the National Association of Home Builders. Emmett Smith did the opening. John, can't remember his name. The guy from Bar Rescue was there. It's a lot of great speakers. I did an AI class on creating workspaces that work for you and, kind of take a little bit of the stuff that we don't like to do ourselves every day and let AI help out with that in smart ways and protected ways. So that was really interesting. Lots of good education.
Good. Well, another thought on density, and we touched on affordable housing. You can't have affordable housing if you have to build miles and miles of roads to get through your new communities.
Absolutely.
And put miles and miles of pipes in the ground to provide water and sewer service.
That is true. And that's it. If we can condense that into less space, that prevents the sprawl and lessens the cost.
Yep, and leaves room for what Michael Chimento calls the bugs and bunnies.
Yes. Oh, yes, I have heard him say that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. Well, that's what the conservationists are concerned with, right? Is the leaving the green space natural whenever possible, and density allows for that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the fear, and I don't know for sure, but I think maybe the fear of density is that if we allow density, it will be overrun. But when we have a master plan community, which all of these that we're talking about are, they have boundary lines.
With conservation set-asides and wetland set-asides.
So, and this is kind of just coming to me as we're talking about it, right? So I really think that might be the concern, is that when we talk about density, people start to think about maybe like cities that they've come from or that they've visited where every square inch is concrete.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I get that, right? I guess I get why you would think that when you hear density, but it's important to note that when we're talking about density in our own community here in Palm Coast, that can't be the case based on the codes that we have and the master plan communities. I mean, you could think of it as a square.
Based on the topography.
Yeah, that too.
Florida just has...
We're not flat enough.
has an awful lot of wetland.
Yeah, right. And you can't build on it. Or the DEP comes in and gets real mad.
And we shouldn't be allowed to build on it.
Definitely not. And we need the stormwater runoff, and there's just too many environmental needs and requirements for that to ever happen. But, if you have a plot of land that is your master plan development, and let's pretend like I have a line up here, it's just your rectangular space. And because of your choice to have some density, let's say you build in just this one area of it, then this whole area to the other side, I guess it's the right, if you're looking at me, will never get built on.
Mm-hmm. Because if
you max out all of your residential units over here, that's going to leave this forever. Mm-hmm. So even if another community comes and does a master plan development next door to it,
they can't intrude into. They can't intrude.
Yeah. So I think if that message were to get across properly, that might eliminate some of the fear that comes with the word density and the thought that density creates a concrete jungle.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's, again, similar to the affordable housing comment I made earlier. That, people, I remember getting into a fairly rigorous argument. It got beyond debate with a retired military person who spent 25 years in the military, who was just adamant against affordable housing. And he made the comment, said, I just don't believe in subsidized housing. I said, oh, wait a minute.
Well, it's real.
You're in the middle. You're in the military, and you never lived on base. That's subsidized housing.
Did you get married so you could get an off-base extra housing allowance? That's subsidized housing.
So anyway,
the president gets subsidized housing. Like so many people in government get subsidized. That's wild. That is hilarious. And yeah, I mean the Section 8 thing comes with this like welfare queen mentality, and that it's terrible people that are getting this, and that's just not the truth, and it's just not.
Well, and part of it is, we have so many people in our area here that come from the Metro New York area. And
they may have grown up next to an actual housing project.
Yeah, well, if you say housing project, which here
just refers to a building getting built.
You could have been talking about a Grand Haven, or a Palm Coast Plantation,
a project of housing.
Project, but housing project.
They hear the projects.
It's the projects,
right?
Exactly.
Which, I mean, they have. That's their learned and lived experience. Mm-hmm. So, not to discredit that, but it takes an effort for a human being to unlearn the things that they grew up with in their past and to see beyond that. And I mean, I would ask the people to make that attempt.
Yeah. And we understand you want your pizza on time, but your delivery person should live nearby.
Yeah. unless you're going to tip them $50 for every pizza.
Well, they'll buy your house. And
Well, maybe they could afford to build one in your neighborhood.
Right. Okay, well, we've had fun again today. We hope you have. You want to wrap it up?
Oh, absolutely. Video podcasts of Real Estate Matters are available on gotoby.com. Click on podcasts on the top navigation bar. Show notes are included so you can see what we didn't get to on the show. Also on gotoby.com, the Flagler County interactive map of residential developments and subdivisions updated regularly. If you have a question or suggestion for Real Estate Matters or gotoby.com,
give me a call, 386-931-7124, or you can email me at toby@gotoby.com. Thanks for being with us. We enjoyed doing this show, and we'll be here next week. Hope you will be too. I'm Toby Tobin, and I approve this show.